Okay, so that is our video about parallel lines. So today we'll start off with the new topic of parallel lines. And let's also have a look at what we are going to learn from it. We're going to do some interesting things, so it's good if you pay attention. So our first, oh, what's going on with my screen? Everything is frozen. Can you hear me? Okay, should be better now. So the first word in our vocabulary we learn is distance. Distance is the space between 2 points. We call distance. And to measure distance, we use something like a ruler to measure our distance. So you can see from 0 to 5 is 5 centimeters. So that distance is 5 centimeters. The next one is parallel. Parallel. Now, parallel means two lines that never meet. So if you have to take this ruler and it is straight, and you draw a line on top and draw a line at the bottom, and you draw this line as long as you can, for as far as you can. These two lines will never meet. They will never cross each other. They will always stay the same length apart, the same distance. The next one, a very nice big word, is perpendicular. Perpendicular. Now this one's very interesting because perpendicular always meet at right angles. So at 90 degrees. So if you have this ruler, if you want to draw a line perpendicular to it, that line will be exactly straight down like this to form 90-degree angles. And the last one is a square. Square. Now, I don't know why they drew a rectangle here, but this is a square. It's supposed to be a square. So, parallel lines are only in the, excuse me, a pair of lines is parallel only if the distance between them is always the same. So if you look on page 124, they have a nice block on top here, a nice picture where it almost looks like a ruler. And we can see, if you look at point number G here, and point number C here, they are opposite each other. And this distance, they tell us, is 2 centimeters. So no matter how far this line goes, it can go on until you reach Bangkok. It will always be 2 centimeters apart. It will never get smaller or bigger. The distance will always be the same if it's parallel lines. Okay, the difference between a parallel line and a perpendicular line is, if we take our same example here, from G to C, it is a line that runs directly 90 degrees. So if one line goes this way, the other one goes this way. And if they cross each other, it is called a perpendicular line. Okay, so how will we write these lines? Because we need to show the teacher that these are parallel or perpendicular. So if you look at, if you look at our picture on the top, how many letters do we have? How many letters do you see on the top line? Who can tell me? How many letters do we have on the top line? We have G, P, Y, and K. How many is that? How many letters do we have on the top line? 1, 2, 3, or 4. How many? How many? Come on.
4.
4. So we have 4 different places where they measure the lines. But if we want to write the name of the line, because each line also has a name. Like I have a name, you have a name, and everyone else in the world have names. So does these lines. So how do we write the name of these lines? Oh, teacher, I don't know. Don't worry, the teacher will show you now. So we always start with the first letter. The first letter. What is the first letter of the top line? Who can tell me? What is the first letter of the top line? Anyone? What is the first letter? Come on, what is the first letter here? What's this letter?
G.
G. G is our first one. G. We put a 1 there. It's number 1. And what is the last one? If we move this way, what is the last letter on top? The last letter. The first one is G. What is the last one? What is this letter here?
K.
It's a K. Very good. It's a K. Very good. So if we want to write the name of this line, we write the first letter and the last one together. So it will be G, K. Is the name of the line. But we also have to put our arrows on top to show that we are referring to a line. Because how do we know that GK is a line? We only know it is a line because of our small line and 2 arrows. Very important to listen and to understand. If you don't understand, please stop me so I can explain again. Because it's very important to understand why we put the small arrow on top here. It is because we're giving a line a name. So this stop line, the name is GK. What would the bottom line then be? What would the bottom line be? What would its name be? What letter are we going to start with? What letter? The bottom line. We did the top now. Now we do the bottom. What is the first letter we see? Anyone? What is the first letter we see? The letter what?
K.
K. At the bottom here, this one. The letter C. The letter C.
Yes.
Write down C. What is the last one at the end? The last letter at the end. What do we call it? The last one here. Letter?
N.
N. Very good. It's the letter N. But if you want to give this one a name, we have to draw a line with 2 arrows to show it is a line. So now we have the 2 names. I'm going to erase mine because we already have them here. So now we have the 2 names of our 2 lines, GK and CN. Now we can say that GK and CN are parallel. Why? Why can we say that? Because they've measured it here, 2 centimeters, and they measure it at a different point. And the distance is the same. So it means that those 2 lines run parallel to each other. They run side by side. It's like you and your friend walking and you never touch each other. You are walking in a parallel line. Okay, So this is just a small example for us to look at. So they tell us here that CK and GK and CN are parallel. Yes, we agree. Okay, but what about how long are the distances? So the line PV and the line YR are 2 centimeters. How do we know that? In this example, they tell us. But in another example, we'll have to measure. We'll take the ruler and we measure the distances to know. But do you see a small difference with the name of the two lines? Let me show you on a bigger picture here. So first we have the two lines. I'm going to draw a square here. It's easier to, or a rectangle. Rectangle, and then I draw like this. And like this. To show that the lines run parallel. So if I tell you, write the name of this line. So first here we have A, here we have B, and here we have C. Here we have D, here we have E, and here we have F. So tell me, what is the name of the top line?
ABC.
ABC or just AC? Remember, we take the first one and the last one. The first one and the last one. So the first one is A, last one is C. So to write the name, we are going to write A, C. With a line on top. Why do I not put arrows on this line? Why do I not put arrows on top of this line? Can anyone tell me? Yes.
A straight way. Not have arrow in a way.
The reason why, it's a good attempt, very good. But the main reason why is you can see the line here stops. It stops and goes down.
Yes.
And this one stops here and goes down. So when a line has an end point, like we have here, there's an end point and an end point. We don't put the arrows on this side. Why? Because the arrows, if we had a different example, a line like this, a line like this, call it K and J. So this line, its name will be K, J. But this one will have arrows on top. Do you know why? Because the arrows show us that the line does not stop. The line goes on forever. It doesn't stop. It goes this way and it goes this way. And it goes and goes and goes.
It never stops.
It never stops.
Oh.
So the arrows, this arrows means the line will go on forever. You can draw this line to Bangkok if you want to. And then you can even draw it further. You can draw the line, maybe you can draw it to Koh Samui. Or maybe you draw it to Australia. But it will never stop. Maybe it will, you draw a straight line right around the world and it comes back to you. It shows that that line will not stop. But if we do not put arrows and just a straight line, we give the line a name, but we also say that it has end points where the line stops, where the line changes direction. Changes direction. So the top one is AC. Someone else help me with the bottom one. Please write the bottom one on the board. D to where? Let's see. Let's someone else do the bottom one. All right, number 2 here. Someone do number 2 for me. Number 2. We did one. We did one already, and it's correct here. Someone do number 2 for me, please. You can write on the board. I want the name of the line. Type it here. Name of the line. So we know our topic. To figure out how to write the name of the line. Okay. So, everyone, please help me on the board with number 2. Write the name. Please help me on the board to write the name. Anyone? Anyone? Come on, let's see. Let's see. You already have an example here of number 1. Now just do the same for the bottom line. For this line here, I want the name. I'll make it a different color. I'll make it a different color just below it. So I want the name for this line here. Who's going to do it on the board for me? Who's going to be the star today? Remember, if you don't participate, we also cannot play rock, paper, scissors at the end, because then what's the use? If we don't learn, we can't play. But if we learn a bit, we can always play afterwards. So, anyone, what is the first letter of the bottom line? Come. Let's go here. Everyone, first letter of the bottom line is what? The first letter. Do you guys not understand what I'm saying? Oh, what's going on? What's the first letter? Come on, what's the first letter here? No one want to try. DF. Yes, very good, Leon. Very good. That is excellent. We take the first one, which is the D. Yes, very good. And we take the last one, which is the F. Very good. And we put a line on top to let them know it is a parallel line. Or not a parallel line, it is a line that we are talking about here. So very good. Thank you, Leon. The next one. What is our angle here? Oh, let's do angles now. So this one here, look at BE, the line BE. We will write it as BE. Do you see that this line is directly opposite my other lines? It's directly opposite my other lines. So we have line AC and DF. AC and DF is our two parallel lines. But then we have one line going straight through the middle. BE. Do you see? Do you see BE here? So BE is not parallel to AC or DF. It's not parallel because they are touching. They are going to touch and will touch each other. And parallel lines do not touch. parallel lines never touch. So BE is not parallel to AC or DF because they touch. So the word we use for this one, oh my goodness, this is a nice big English word. Nice early morning English word. The word we use, let me put it here in a different color. So let's use blue. Perpendicular. 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 It means it is the exact opposite. The exact opposite. So if you have a ruler like this, a line like this, the exact opposite will be like this. So they touch each other and they create what we call a right angle. A right angle. So they are perpendicular. So if I ask you, explain the relationship between AC and BE. I tell you, what is AC and BE? You will write something like this. AC is perpendicular to BE. AC is perpendicular to BE. Remember to put your lines on top to show that we are working with lines. So in this situation, we have dealt with two different ones. We have done AC and DF as parallel. They run direct opposite each other like this. And we have BE, which is the opposite direction, which creates a perpendicular angle, which is this angle here is perpendicular, 90 degrees. But what if we have a line that does this? What if we have a line that does this? Just decides to go here. We have a line here. Let me give it a different letter, Q and Z. Z. Where's my line now? Oops. Sorry, my line is gone. Let me use a different one. I think it's going to be too confusing here. Let me use a different one. It's always good if I do something here to try and write it down somewhere so that you know. So we'll do one more explanation and then I think we done enough for today's new topic. So we don't want to do too much. So if we have a line that runs like this, a nice straight line, and we have one that does this. So this one here is A, this one here is B, and we have Q and Z. So do you see now that we have AB, which runs like this, normal, flat, horizontal line, and then we have this slightly angled line that's coming through. It's not direct opposite like a perpendicular line. It is on its own angle. It has own little angles here, small angles. Now these are called acute. We'll look at them in the future, small and big angles. So if we have to write the relationship between these lines, firstly, we have to write the name of the lines. What is the name of the first line here? What is the name of this line here? Anyone?
Line AB.
Line AB. Very good. So we have line AB. Always remember to draw your line on top. Line AB. And the other line, what is its name? What's the other line name?
Line QZ. Like you see.
Like you said. See.
Yes, very good. Line QZ or QZ. That is our second line. And I put my arrows because you can see there's no ending point here or here. Usually the picture will have lines like this to show you which way the line is moving, mainly. So they are not parallel, no. They are not perpendicular, no. Then what are they? Let's think. We have three different ones that we should know. So we have to learn three words. The first one we look at is parallel. Yes, we learn it. We'll do it again. The second one, perpendicular. Oh, teacher, there's one more, but I'm not sure. What's its name? Let me tell you. So when the line does not go in the direct opposite direction as the other one, but when the line is a little bit slanted or tilted and goes skew, you know, it's like when you kick the ball, it doesn't go straight. Sometimes it goes this way. And that line is also doing that. So these lines we call intersecting. Intersecting lines. Intersecting lines. Now, an intersect means a point where two things pass each other. They pass each other. So if I walk this way and you walk this way and we bump into each other, we are at an intersecting place. So it means one line is crossing the other one at a random angle. There's no fixed way it is going. So if I have my ruler, I can have a perpendicular line above it, a parallel above it, a perpendicular directly opposite it, or I can have a skew one like this, which is intersecting. It's not going straight down or parallel, it's going sideways. That one we call intersecting. So those are our three lines we need to learn. And these words are very important. Without knowing these words, you cannot answer any question. Please put that inside your minds, because we need to study these three words first. Now we've looked at the relationship, but we will study these words every lesson until we all understand them. Because in the questions, they use these words. And I will also use these words in my questions, because it is the only way of explaining what we are doing. So we have to use the words properly and understand them. Otherwise, we cannot answer the questions. We can write the name of a line, but what if the question asks, what is the name of the intersecting line? Or what is the parallel opposite to AB, for example? So then we have to know the words. So this is just a quick introduction to parallel lines. We will look into studying the words more, and I will always use the words. And when I use them, always repeat them to yourself. If you don't want to say them in class, I know they are not the easiest words to pronounce, but we can all use the practice. And we need to also make sure that when we read the question, we look for these words, the three of them. Parallel, intersecting, and what's the last one? You can tell me, Perpendicular. Perpendicular. Okay. Just a quick introduction to how we're going to look at specific lines and so on. So Monday, when we start with maths again, we'll do the vocabulary again, and we will definitely make sure we understand fully what these words mean and how we can answer any question that a teacher can ask you. Because I want all of you to get 100%. So I will make sure to give you all the information to do well. Okay. So if you all want to play some rock, paper, scissors, please put up your hand now. Or please turn on your camera. Yesterday, it was not a good day for teacher because almost everyone beat me, which was quite disappointing. Teacher, I don't like, I like to win. You know? I think all of us like to win. So today I'm going to try and beat you. So are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Hey, I win. This one is called C. C for Chuck Norris. And Chuck Norris beats everyone. No. Okay. That's just warm up. Come. Once more.
One more time.
Are we ready? Are we steady? Okay. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Hey. Oh, okay. Nam Niang. And teacher on, but teacher on, don't play with. Not teacher on. Bye, teacher on. You're not student.
On.
So only 2 students beat me. Nam Niang and Jasmine. Congratulations for beating teacher. Well done. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I will speak to you again on Monday morning. If you have any questions about any work, please contact me. I'm always willing to help. Have a good day and a nice weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.